In this video, we'll look into detail on how we can use copy and paste to duplicate our elements and streamline our content building on Readz. Let's start with simply copying an element to see how it works. Let's say we want to duplicate this image element here. We're going to start by selecting the element. We can copy by either right-clicking or by using keyboard shortcuts. If we right-click on the element, we'll see we have the options of copying, cutting, deleting, or selecting the parent of this element. So I can simply right-click and copy. I can also use keyboard commands to copy. Command-C on a Mac or Control-C on a PC. As you can see, when the element is copied, we get a little notification flash letting us know it worked. Now to paste the element we've just copied. Important to note is that you must use your keyboard commands to paste in Readz. We can paste the element we just copied using Command-V on a Mac or Control-V on a PC. As we can see, the pasted element appears in the upper left-hand corner of the page, and then we can drag it to wherever we'd like it on the page. Sometimes you're going to want to paste an element into an existing element. To do this, we'll copy the element we'd like to duplicate, here the image. Then we'll select the element we'd like to paste into and hit Command-V or Control-V while that element is selected. As you can see, our new duplicated element appears in the upper left-hand corner of that element. We can also use copy-paste on a larger level by duplicating groups of elements. So here we have this gray box which contains two image elements. If you copy-paste an element which contains other elements, Readz does as you would expect and copies everything together as a group. So when I copy-paste, you can see I get a duplicate of the whole element with its insides as well. Another great thing about copy and paste in Readz is that it will also copy and paste the actions and animations you have already applied to that element. For example, we have this button here which has a pop-up form as well as a hover state. So when I copy and paste this element, I will also be copy and pasting the form as well as the hover state and anything already applied to this button. Working with elements like this that have pop-ups, it might be easy to pause your action so that you can easily click on them to select them without experiencing the pop-up every time. So I'll just pause my actions here in the upper right-hand corner. Makes things simpler. We can click to select or right-click without having any pop-ups. So when we right-click copy, it'll say copy 21 elements. So we know the whole group was successfully copied. Then we Command-V and we'll get a duplicate of the entire thing on our page. It goes where we expect it on the top left of our page, and now I can drag it over here and I can check that it was successfully copied by pressing play on my actions and then clicking on it, and I can see yes, the form was successfully copied along with the button. So you can see how this will save you a lot of time when you can copy styles, actions, and forms all in one go. The only issue here could be with fonts. If you're copying an element between projects and the destination publication doesn't have the same fonts loaded as the source, then it would have to use a backup font. To avoid this, you should make sure that all necessary fonts are in both publications. So, in conclusion, we saw how to copy either by right-click copy or by using Command-C or Control-C. For paste, we learned we have to use the keyboard Command-V to paste an element. Elements are pasted normally into the top left corner of your canvas or top left of the container selected. When you're copying an element, it will also be copying the actions, like pop-up forms, applied to it, as well as its style. But if you copy-paste an element into a project which doesn't have the same fonts, the text will be in a backup font. If all the fonts are consistent, however, you'll have no issue and the styles will be pasted identically. There we have it. Copying, pasting, and Readz is pretty easy and can be a great time saver.